Right. Right, my name is Christopher Walsh. This is my presentation for Project 2, Task 2 on UAL Level 3 Extended Diploma in Music Performance and Production. Can you click it for me, Ben? That's Finn. Right. For this task, I need to decide on two ideas that I need for Project 4 to complete the final major project. So, one of the ideas is a performance at Cafe Indie, and the other idea is being recorded in a studio. Because these two things include the key ideas and core aspects of what we need to do to complete the final major project. Such as, go back Ben please. Sorry, my bad. Such as collaboration with bands or other musical members or band members, performance, because obviously performers, whether that's performing in a studio environment or on stage, recording, whether it's a video recording as evidence or an audio recording, and composition, either of set lists, songs, or like stage planning. Click it now, please. So performance at Cafe Indie. I'd need to do it with a group to, get the collaboration aspect. I would also need to perform, as I am a performer, surprisingly. But on stage, it's the best way to show off your skills and everything that you've learned throughout the course, as well as it builds a much stronger collaboration and relationship with band members and also with other bands. And at Cafe Indie, it also allows us to communicate with other people in the music industry. But for this, I would need certain things such as an equipment list, a way of transporting all the equipment and gear there, and dates, and also rehearsal space leading up to it. And then the second idea, sound recording in the studio. This would also fit into the sound recording, performance, collaboration aspects, because we would need to collaborate as a band in rehearsals and with the production students such as Saba himself, Mr. Fuago. Doing that, we would also need rehearsal space, and we would also need to have dedicated time in the studio, because we need to wait for the drum kit to be set up and mic'd up. We'd also need to wait for the amps to be moved in here, mic'd up, and then sound checking all levels and going through all the rigmarole that comes with it, as well as going back through if we need to fix some scratch tracks and everything like that. But it does allow for a performance that we can do, and something that we can, it's not just a set amount of people like a performance would be, because Cafe Indie holds 250 people, whereas an audio recording, a sound recording, could be sent out to everyone as long as they've got internet access. So that'd be better. Could you click it again? Mucho gracias. Thank you. As a final choice, I chose performance at Cafe Indie. It's okay, baby. She's dying at the minute.
Yeah, thanks.
Like and subscribe to get any help she needs. For my final choice, I decided to do a performance at Cafe Indie. This would suit me best as a performer and as a drummer, and it would mean that the rehearsals and stuff would be put forward to something productive and have an end goal, because a sound recording you could go on forever and ever, it's multiple days and it could take a while, whereas a performance, it's a one-time thing, and we've got 2 gigs lined up, the one for the final major project as well as one to practice for that, and also a previous one that we did in December, thank you Ben, December, to prepare for the final major project. It would also be very good to, what's the word? Build build up as a musician, because not only does it help with the college course, it also helps with our musical careers outside of college. I am quite lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, that I have two bands that I'll need to perform for. Looking at Lissa, but she's not here. Could you click it again? Why this? Well, I've just mentioned all key points, but it allows us to collaborate between ourselves and with other bands, which a sound recording won't allow us to do that because it'd just be in the room with your own band. You couldn't speak to other bands about what songs they're doing, any ideas they have, constructive criticism that they may have for you or you may have for them. I've done this 2 years now with the previous band, SOS.bandofficial, Mongrel.bandofficial, now the Shrugs.bandofficial, and Evolved.bandofficial. So this is my third time doing it, so it's much more comfortable for me to do a performance rather than in the studio, which I do have very limited experience in. We will also be working collaboratively for original songs. We've done that for, how many original songs did we have?
2.
2 this year, 2, with the level 3 band, the Shrugs. Say hello, Phoebe and Danny.
Hey guys.
Hello. Like and subscribe once again. And then another original song that I did for the level 2 band. It also just helps us get used to being as part of a band, and it helps reach out to other people in the music industry. So for the final major project, it would be a much more suitable and more of a, it's, I'm trying to think of the word now, for it suit the course and as us as part of the course and as musicians better. Would you click it, please? What goes into it? So we will need to prepare for the gig, such as doing stage plans, writing equipment lists for not just one band but for all the bands, and also anything else that we might need, such as cameras to record it, and any spare parts such as breakables like cymbals or snare heads, strings for the guitar, extra wires, and we need to make sure that Cafe Indie would also have some of them just in case, because it's better to be prepared for the gig rather than forget something or need something and it's not there. We'd also need designated rehearsal times and space in college that we'd also need to talk to the other bands about, because we have 3 rehearsal rooms, and certain days, certain bands want different rooms. Different rooms have different equipment, which some musicians might prefer, so we need to work around that. We'll also need to manage our time to get the written part of our work done, such as rehearsal sheets, diary sheets, any videos for evidence that we need for the course, and anything else that might make everything run more smoothly and allow us to get the highest possible grade we can for our project 4 final major project. Click it again, please. This is my web bibliography. I looked at a few more links than this, but I didn't have time to put them on there. I have also took liberty in looking at the what other performers in the world thought about the pros and cons between recording and between performing on stage. Some of the pros with performance is you need to learn how to be comfortable on stage when there's mistakes and when you're in an environment that you're not used to, such as a rehearsal room. But some of the pros for recording is that you have time to work and get everything perfect as how you want it, and it also means that if you did get a recording, you could send it out. However, as a performer, your main goal should be to put on the best performance you can, and that means through practice in a rehearsal room or even practicing on stage. Click again, please. Thank you for listening. If you've got any questions, please ask.
You said something about preparing for the gig. What does the actual preparation include from beginning to end?
First, we'd obviously find out the date to work towards for the gig. I do believe it is the 22nd or 23rd of April, our final major project gig is. So we would set that date out, and then we'd look at the days that we have in college. Then, when we figure that out, we would also look at the rehearsal spaces, because there is 3 bands in college at the minute, and there is 3 rehearsal rooms, which works out quite nicely. However, some rooms have different equipment, so you need to figure out that which band takes which room what day. When that happens, every day that you have rehearsal, you'd go into the room, you'd practice, you'd work on set list, even if it's not performance or rehearsing on your instrument. You might be talking about crowd work, you might be talking about the set list, and when you get that down, there might be some changes that come, because some people might not be able to learn a song in time, or they're not used to the part, or they just don't like how it's starting to sound. And once you get a general idea and a general structure of a set list, how you're going to practice, how you're going to perform through crowd work and stuff, then we would just go through the set list, either just the songs or including the crowd work, getting videos throughout so we can look back on our progress and we have evidence for the course. And it'd just be preparing, getting comfortable, doing each song and each of our musicians' parts, so when it comes to being on stage, we're not worried about messing up, because we all know our parts and we all know each other, and we all know that we can rely on each other when it comes to the gig. Any other questions?
Do you have any sort of methods to track your progress and work off of that?
Videos is one of them. I personally, through the past 2 years of being on course, I also look at old videos and old gigs to see where I went wrong, or what went right that I could apply to this year, and new bands and stuff. Such as first year, I were a bit sloppy with my timing, which I still need to work on. However, it's much more manageable, and I'm not losing my place in the song. I'm more just going in between speeding up and slowing down. So it is an improvement, but I know there's still work there to be done. Also, through experience of being a musician outside of college, I can look back on how gigs and how the industry works outside of college environment, what I think might be more productive, like sound checks. I found outside of college they're a lot longer, so maybe trying to find a way to have a longer sound check during college might make people feel a lot more comfortable, because even if it's just 20 minutes, it's 20 minutes more on stage. You get used to where you are, where you're standing, where everyone is. You get a feel for what it's going to be like. Just practicing at home, always keeping up to date, trying to work on sticking techniques personally, or just even listening to the songs, and then comparing it to videos and the recordings that you have performing it, see if you're sounding like the song, if there's something that you want to change, if it doesn't sound exactly right, what can you tweak, and just constructive feedback from everyone in band. If you're in the middle of playing, you can look at people's faces. I'm sure you know, as a drummer, Ben, kind of, especially a bassist, you look at them, if they're pulling a funny face, you know you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And then after, you can all speak, whether you want to talk about what vocals could do, what drums could do, what guitar could do. So, yeah, you can use others to help you out with your work. Is there anything else?
I noticed you didn't mention any marketing or promotion methods. What would you do to go about that?
Marketing, well, as in college, we could use the college website or the college Instagram, Facebook page to promote the gig. But if you wanted to do that personally, because I know we've done that before past couple of years, we would find one of us, or we'd all have input into a poster. And because it's college, there's no like opener or headliner, it's just a day for bands. So we'd figure out what kind of style you're wanting, because many bands could do many different songs. We're lucky this year that all the bands are doing very similar genres of music, so we have pretty much one set theme that we could apply to the poster. Just talking to people in college, you could let them know that there's a gig going on and it's free entry. It's you know, it's available to anyone. If you can make it there, you might as well go. So that's one thing you could do. Is there anything else? Right. Okay, thank you very much for listening.